As we get older, many people assume memory loss is simply part of life. They expect to forget names more often, lose track of conversations, or walk into a room and suddenly forget why they went there in the first place. But scientists are discovering that the aging brain may be influenced by something far more controllable than most people realize: nutrition. Some of the most powerful foods for supporting memory, focus, and long-term brain health aren't expensive supplements or miracle products. They're ordinary foods that millions of people overlook every day. Today, we'll look at 3 of the most remarkable brain foods after 70: eggs, sardines, and blueberries. Each one supports the brain in a different way, and together they may help you stay mentally sharper for years to come. What if the reason so many people struggle with memory after 70 isn't simply because they're getting older? What if the real problem is that the brain is slowly being deprived of the nutrients it needs to stay strong? For many older adults, the signs appear gradually. A familiar name suddenly disappears. A conversation is interrupted by a forgotten word. Keys are misplaced. An appointment slips through the cracks. At first, these moments seem harmless. Most people laugh them off and say, "I guess I'm just getting old." But here's what scientists have discovered. The brain is not a machine that simply wears out with age. Like the heart, muscles, and bones, it constantly depends on nourishment to maintain itself. Inside your head are billions of nerve cells communicating every second through an intricate network of electrical and chemical signals. These signals allow you to remember names, recognize faces, solve problems, and navigate daily life. The challenge is that maintaining this system requires the right fuel. And modern diets often provide plenty of calories while supplying surprisingly few of the nutrients the brain needs most. Many traditional foods that once appeared regularly on family tables have quietly disappeared, replaced by highly processed foods that fill the stomach but contribute little to long-term cognitive health. What's fascinating is that long before brain supplements and memory boosters became billion-dollar industries, people were supporting their brains through ordinary foods. No powders, no subscriptions, no miracle pills. Just simple, nutrient-dense foods that generations consumed without even realizing how valuable they were. Today, researchers continue studying certain foods that appear to support memory, concentration, and overall brain function as we age. Some help produce the neurotransmitters responsible for learning and memory. Others nourish the structure of brain cells themselves. And some contain powerful compounds that may help protect the brain from the gradual wear and tear of aging. The best part? These foods aren't rare, exotic, or expensive. In fact, they're probably much closer than you think. Today, we'll explore 3 of the most powerful foods for keeping the brain sharp after 70. The first helps your brain create the chemical messengers behind memory and learning. The second nourishes the very structure of brain cells. And the third may help protect your brain from years of accumulated damage. By the end of this video, you may never look at your grocery list the same way again, because sometimes the most powerful support for an aging brain isn't found in a supplement bottle. It's found in the foods sitting quietly in your kitchen. For decades, eggs were caught in one of the biggest nutrition controversies in modern history. Millions of people were told to avoid them. Some removed the yolks completely. Others stopped eating eggs altogether, believing they were protecting their health. But something unexpected happened. As researchers continued studying aging and cognitive decline, they discovered that one of the most important nutrients for brain function had been hiding in plain sight all along. That nutrient is called choline. Most people have never heard of it, yet your brain depends on it every single day. Choline helps the body produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that plays a major role in memory, learning, attention, and communication between brain cells. Every time you remember a friend's name, follow a conversation, or learn something new, acetylcholine is working behind the scenes. The challenge is that many older adults simply don't get enough choline. And unlike some nutrients that can be easily stored in large amounts, the brain constantly needs a fresh supply to maintain normal function. This is where eggs become remarkable. A single egg contains a significant amount of choline in a form the body can easily absorb and use. But eggs offer far more than just one nutrient. They also provide vitamin B12, folate, selenium, lutein, and high-quality protein. Together, these nutrients help support healthy nerve cells, protect brain tissue, and maintain cognitive function as we age. Perhaps the most surprising part is where many of these nutrients are found: the yolk. For years, countless people threw away the very part of the egg that contains most of its nutritional value. The yolk contains the majority of the choline, along with many of the vitamins and antioxidants that support both brain and eye health. Think about that for a moment. One of the most powerful brain-supporting foods in the grocery store doesn't come in a bottle. It doesn't have a flashy label. It doesn't promise miracle results. It's sitting quietly in the refrigerated section for just a few dollars a dozen. The good news is that adding eggs to your routine is simple. 2 eggs with breakfast, a vegetable omelet for lunch, or a boiled egg as a snack can provide valuable nutrients that help nourish the brain throughout the day. No food can guarantee perfect memory. But when scientists look at the nutrients most closely associated with healthy brain aging, eggs consistently earn a place near the top of the list. Sometimes the foods we take for granted turn out to be the ones our brains appreciate the most. If eggs help the brain create the chemical messengers responsible for memory, the next food helps protect the brain cells themselves. And surprisingly, it comes in a small can that many people walk past without a second glance. Sardines. For years, sardines have been overshadowed by more popular fish like salmon and tuna. Many people see them as old-fashioned or something their grandparents used to eat. Yet, from a nutritional standpoint, sardines may be one of the most powerful brain foods available. The reason begins with a special omega-3 fat called DHA. Scientists have discovered that DHA is not simply beneficial for the brain. It is actually a major structural component of the brain itself. Think of it as part of the framework that helps brain cells communicate with one another. When healthy levels of DHA are present, those connections remain stronger and more efficient, supporting memory, learning, and overall cognitive function. As people age, maintaining these connections becomes increasingly important. Unfortunately, many older adults consume far less omega-3 than experts recommend. That's where sardines shine. Along with DHA, sardines provide vitamin D, vitamin B12, selenium, calcium, and high-quality protein. These nutrients work together to support the nervous system and help maintain healthy brain function. Another major advantage is that sardines are small fish with short life cycles, meaning they generally contain much lower levels of mercury than larger fish. In other words, they provide many of the benefits people seek from seafood while avoiding some of the concerns associated with bigger species. And perhaps the biggest surprise is their price. While many people spend hundreds of dollars each year on memory supplements, a simple can of sardines often costs less than a cup of coffee while delivering nutrients the brain can immediately use. The good news is that sardines are easy to incorporate into everyday meals. They can be served on whole grain toast, mixed into salads, added to pasta dishes, or combined with eggs for a nutrient-dense breakfast. Even people who believe they dislike sardines are often surprised by how enjoyable they become when prepared properly. No food can stop the aging process, but some foods may help the brain age more gracefully. And few foods accomplish that mission more quietly than the humble sardine. Sometimes the smallest foods deliver the biggest benefits. If eggs help create the chemical messengers of memory and sardines help maintain the structure of brain cells, the third food serves a different purpose. Its job is protection, and unlike the first 2 foods, this one grows quietly on a bush. Blueberries may be small, but scientists have spent decades studying them because of what they contain. Their deep blue color comes from compounds called anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that help protect cells from damage. Over time, the body naturally produces unstable molecules known as free radicals. These molecules can contribute to wear and tear throughout the body, including the brain. Think of it like rust slowly forming on metal. The damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds little by little over the years. Scientists believe this process, known as oxidative stress, may play a role in age-related cognitive decline. While aging itself cannot be stopped, reducing some of this damage may help the brain function more effectively for longer. This is where blueberries become so interesting. The anthocyanins they contain help neutralize some of these harmful molecules before they can cause as much damage. Researchers have found that people who regularly consume fruits rich in these compounds often maintain better cognitive function as they age. While no single food can prevent memory loss, diets rich in colorful fruits have consistently been associated with healthier brain aging. But blueberries may offer more than antioxidant protection. Some studies suggest they may also support healthy blood flow. That's important because every memory, every thought, and every conversation depends on brain cells receiving a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients. A healthy brain is a well-fed brain, and circulation plays a major role in making that possible. Perhaps the most impressive thing about blueberries is how simple they are to include in daily life. They can be added to oatmeal, mixed into yogurt, blended into smoothies, sprinkled over cottage cheese, or simply eaten by the handful. Fresh blueberries are excellent, but frozen blueberries can be just as convenient and nutritious. The real secret is consistency. A handful of blueberries today won't transform your memory tomorrow, but small choices repeated over months and years can add up. That's often how healthy aging works, not through dramatic changes, but through simple habits practiced regularly. No single food can guarantee a sharp mind forever, but when it comes to protecting the brain from years of accumulated wear and tear, blueberries have earned their reputation as one of nature's most impressive little foods. Sometimes the smallest things provide the greatest protection. By now, a pattern should be starting to emerge. None of the foods we've discussed are exotic. None require a prescription. None come with flashy marketing campaigns or expensive monthly subscriptions. They're simply eggs, sardines, and blueberries. Yet, each one supports the brain in a different way. Eggs help provide the building blocks for important neurotransmitters involved in memory and learning. Sardines supply healthy fats that help maintain the structure and communication of brain cells. Blueberries help protect those cells from the gradual wear and tear that accumulates over a lifetime. Together, they form a simple but powerful foundation for long-term brain health. But perhaps the most important lesson isn't about any single food. It's about consistency. Many people spend years searching for a miracle solution. They hope one supplement, one diet, or one breakthrough discovery will suddenly restore the memory they had decades ago. Unfortunately, the brain doesn't usually work that way. The brain is more like a garden than a machine. A garden doesn't thrive because of one day of care. It flourishes because it receives steady nourishment over time. Water, sunlight, healthy soil, and patience all work together to create something strong and resilient. The brain operates in much the same way. Every healthy meal provides an opportunity to support the billions of cells working tirelessly inside your head. Every nutrient-rich food contributes a small piece to a much larger picture. While these choices may seem insignificant on a single day, their effects can accumulate over months and years. Researchers who study healthy aging often notice something interesting. Many older adults who remain mentally sharp well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s rarely rely on a single secret. Instead, they tend to follow simple habits consistently. They eat nourishing foods, stay physically active, remain socially connected, and continue challenging their minds through learning and engagement. That's encouraging news, because it means supporting your brain doesn't require perfection. You don't need a complicated plan. You don't need expensive products. You simply need to make better choices more often than not. A couple of eggs at breakfast, a serving of sardines during the week, a handful of blueberries added to your daily routine. Small habits. Simple choices. But over time, those choices may help support the memory, focus, and mental sharpness that allow us to stay independent and engaged with the people we love. Because growing older is inevitable. Losing curiosity isn't. And while no food can stop the passage of time, the right foods may help us continue making memories worth remembering for many years to come.